Hey everyone. All right, so today I have Angela Ford on the channel, and I'm super excited. So I just have to, before you introduce yourself, I just have to say, Angela has fucked me up in so many ways. It is unreal, and I know she's laughing over there, but the reason I say that is because what I didn't realize at the time was a Kundalini experience was activated on her table. And now I'm just going to let her introduce herself and just let you guys know exactly what she does. And we're going to get into a conversation about it for the next hour or so, right?
All right. Thanks, B, for having me on. Hi, everybody. I'm Angela Ford. I'm so excited to be on this interview slash off the cuff, off the
Yeah.
reel with B and for real, for real. So disclaimer, her saying I fucked her up. Nah, there's no way I was going to be able to get in if she wasn't ready for that. So,
Totally.
but it was an amazing session. So a little bit about me. I am a holistic health practitioner. So I do everything from science to soul, and it seems like spirit wants more soul. So I have my master's in biomechanics, I have my PhD in nutrition, and I'm doing another PhD on natural medicine. And I've been in this industry, the health and wellness industry, holistically anyways, for a decade now. So, and probably in the last, I would say 3 to 4 years is where the big shifts really started happening, where spirit really started knocking more, and I had to listen. And again, we have free will choice. So whether you listen or not, that's up to you. Remember, if it's your path, trust me, spirit will keep knocking and it's going to keep putting things in your path to, one, get your attention, two, for you to awaken to, and then three, for you to embrace it. So to kind of connect it back to what B was saying about fucking her shit up that day, it was spirit knocking on her door as well as mine, because we have to be in alignment for that to unfold. And if you're not, then it won't go as it should, it won't flow. So that whole fucked up session was literally out of this world. So that's just a little bit about myself.
Yeah.
And I'm also co-owner of Empress Health and Wellness.
Yes, absolutely. And here's the thing. So I came out to Empress and I did a session with Angela. I'm just going to get right into it. And what she did, so you get on her table. It's very sacred. I just messaged her a couple weeks ago. I was like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for the second session. Because it's just such a sacred, powerful experience. And I just want to tell you guys really quick what happened to me. So you walk into the room and she's got it all, right? Like the singing bowls are there, the forks are there. You set up your crystals, and you walk in knowing that you are so safe, and this is just going to be an outlet, especially like if you've been practicing spirituality and you just want that little bit of oomph because you do the whole quantum numbers thing. So before I met Angela, I knew what quantum numbers were, but I didn't know any codes, nor did I do any research into it. So what she does is, I'll let you say what you do, but I'll just say my experience. So
Yeah,
I
for sure.
walk into the room, and I've had these sort of sessions before, but I'm telling you, I've never had such a deep soul experience. And my focus and goal was to really connect with my higher self more, connect with my intuition more, connect with the galaxies more. That's what I wanted from this session. So when I walked in, I knew that I actually have a video of it that I was supposed to post, but the experience was so powerful, I can't get back there. I can't even watch the video because I'm like, oh my goodness. Because what I didn't realize is, so when you get on the table, she does the protection prayer, and then she begins working. Do you work through chakras?
Yes, I do. I work through
Okay.
chakras, meridian points. So I use TCM points as well as the chakras. Yeah, I get right in.
I thought
That's the
so.
gateway. That's the path. Each chakra takes you to another dimension.
Okay. So, and I thought so, but I did not know. And I think it's important to go in with nothingness. I think that's like the key, right? Like you can't be scared. You can't judge it. You can't love it too much either, because then there's too much expectation. So anyways, I did go in with nothingness, and it was when she was working on me, I felt tingles. I felt like in my gut, I was feeling almost like butterflies. I could feel right all up over my head. Like, what was the sensation? It wasn't a pressure, but on my third eye, it was a pressure. It was a pressure on my third eye, but everywhere else, it was just this like weird lightness that I hadn't experienced. And when she was taking those quantum codes, that's when I could feel these feelings. So I knew I was in tune. And afterwards was, so I didn't realize at the time, but you woke up that Kundalini energy in my spine. And I did not know that Kundalini energy actually feels like hot mess, like hot mess, anxiety. I was at Safeway. I was at the grocery store. I've been going there for 13 years. It's a small community where I live. I literally had to leave my grocery in the store because I just felt like I never had a panic attack before, but I felt like, is this a panic attack? What is happening to me? That much anxiety. So now I'm going to let you kind of take it over, because I loved how you calmed me down and told me what it was that was happening. Because even though I've been in the spiritual game for a long time, when you don't experience this, like at that level of activation, you just do not know. I didn't know it was a Kundalini experience. I had an idea, but I didn't like fully know. So anyways, let them know from the table, like what you did to me, how it works. And I should just send you the video. People need to see this. And we will
And
show it.
So before I delve in, so just to address that whole Kundalini energy and that sense of, that kind of sense of panic you felt. So just so to reassure people, you wouldn't have felt that kind of energy if you weren't that open and connected to the universe.
Oh, okay.
So it was bringing that energy to you and that expansion energy. So the fact that you felt a bit of anxiety is, and then so like, I'm going to just pair it with the autonomic nervous system. So your sympathetic system was in hyperdrive, but not only in hyperdrive, it was also the high energy and in connecting you to, you know, your soul star. So that sense of, and then you were absorbing and connecting with the universal energy. So that's why this session, this healing that I do is called quantum soul healing. So, and then when the codes, when I put activate the quantum codes, they now activate that in you.
It's so crazy, because you know what I just realized, like this is the Holy Trinity, kind of like this is, you know how it's like soul, mind, body. Oh, are you? Uh-oh, I think you're frozen.
Okay, now I see you. You were frozen for a second. Now I see you.
Okay, here we are. We're back on. So here's, you know, oh, it's my Armand. Don't use the microwave.
The joys of having a teenager.
Yeah. So what's happening? Is this the holy? I'm recording a vlog.
What did you say to me?
I said don't use the mic. Say hi to Angela. We're doing a.
Hey.
Hi.
How's it going? Those curls. I love those curls.
I know. There's that's the culprit. That's why we froze. So I feel like when you just said that, that is the true Holy Trinity. So it's like the mind, body, soul complex. Like, yeah. And literally I did not know, and I'm getting chills right now. I had no idea how, thank you for explaining that. It's body and soul, yeah. That connection that made me feel all of these, yeah. Over, like the emotions were just, yeah. I couldn't deal. I had to go in my car. I had to leave the grocery.
Yeah. And that was good. So that was a really good thing to do, because you're so tapped in and you're so open to the universe. It was really good for you to kind of reground yourself. And so going into your car and actually ground that energy and then recenter it back. So, because remember, you always have been. What happened in the session is we opened and connect you to the actual matrix of the quantum universe. we're all part of it, but not all of us are connected to it. So again, I'm going to say that again. We are all part of it. We're part of the bigger matrix that is the quantum universe, the universal life force, the essence, all of it. But just like in the movie The Matrix, we're not plugged in. So you're part of it, you're in the matrix, but are you truly plugged in? So for you, it's that activation, that plugging you in, or if you will, unplugging you from the mundane so that you can experience the vastness of it. So it's that energy, that influx that came in. And then so your physical vessel now had to just adjust to it. Your soul was already doing it. So now those codes now activated the shell, the fabric that is the body, connecting with the fabric that's the soul, connecting to the fabric that is the matrix of the quantum universe.
Holy shit. Okay, so how did that happen? Like, okay, fine, I came in with an open mind.
Yes, yes.
I've been to other healers, man, and I've never experienced anything like this. Okay, so I come in, I lay on the table, the codes that how did you know which codes to install? And these are quantum codes. And I just want to tell people, quantum numbers, 369, whatever the codes are, these are numbers that are very high vibration with sacred geometry, with the ether. So
yes.
How did you know?
Well,
yeah, thank you. How did you know which codes to kind of install when you started working on me? Like, what are you going through, hearing, seeing, feeling when you're working on someone like me?
Yeah. So the beauty, so disclaimer people, the beautiful thing about working on somebody like you is you're awake. So you're not asleep. You're not a sleeper. You're awake. When you came in and you stepped into my treatment room, and as you know, you step in, it's a vortex. We're not here. We're not in this realm. We go somewhere else. And the realm in which we go to is also depending on you. It's also depending on your spirit guides, your benevolent ancestors, because you guys, I don't just call in anybody. I'm specific with whom I call in. And the fact that you were open and giving permission. A lot of healers don't ask permission. And this is not to slam any healer. This is just for me, my training and my ancestry. You ask permission. And that permission, it transcends the physical body. You ask the soul permission. So just because somebody books with you doesn't mean you have the higher self and soul permission. So for you, entering my treatment room, it is a sacred space, and it's a vortex. You enter in, anything that you're carrying, any baggage, any whatever, you better believe that shit's going to be revealed. And the beautiful thing about working with you and you coming in, I could feel the energy already. The minute you walk through the front door, even before you stepped into my treatment room, I was like, oh shit, she's got an army of people with her. I was like, all right, this about to be good. So I knew, I knew that the session was going to be very intense and it's experiential. So I knew that already. So I was already prepped for that, because even before you walked in, my guides already told me, like, I needed to ground more. I needed to be anchored more, and I needed to expand more, because I needed to be able to do that to hold space for you, for where we were going. I didn't know where we were going, but I knew it was going to be big, and I knew it was going to be intense. So following all that, and recapping and talking about this right now, I just got full goosebumps shift, like just came straight down. And so once you lay on the table, it's okay. So the quantum codes are channeled by Archangel Raphael.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So there's another healer, two healers, one in the UK, one in New Zealand, that are the channelers. They channel these codes from Archangel Raphael, and those codes were gifted to humanity, and only certain beings. So star seeds. And so we're going to get into star seeds a little bit later. I'm just going to give you a preview. Star seeds and cosmic seeds. Star seeds and cosmic seeds are these beings that are high vibration from higher dimensions that have agreed millennia ago to come down to earth, reincarnate in the physical form to help earth and humanity ascend, to connect them back.
And that's, I just want a disclaimer, like that's a tough freaking job to do. No one wants, I want this to be my last time on earth. I never want to.
Well, Gaia's moving to 4D, so we've got to, those of us who have finished our task as far as on the third dimension plane in which we are in right now, she's ascending, so she's shedding weight, she's shedding. So those of us who will ascend into the 4D vibration, we will go with her. And those of us who don't, again, they're charted in their soul contract, will stay in 3D and it'll be another reality.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's going to split. It's still going to be Earth, but it's just going to be two different realities.
Yeah. And I just want to, like, for those of you that are watching, they're kind of like, I remember when I just stumbled into spirituality, I didn't understand realities. I was like, dimensions, is there a different space? So what it is even though Gaia, Mother Nature, is still here, like we still like are on Earth, obviously, but what's happening is people who have more egoic negative thoughts, they remain in the 3D and they kind of live a life of suffering. It's kind of your own hell. So it's a heavier life, like and they're heavy on themselves. It's not other people, but it's just themselves. Whereas those that are able to ascend into 4D, which a lot of people without even knowing, I think, have done it, even if you're not on that spiritual path, but if you're kindness, love, light, more so. And I feel like personally there's a percentage. I just, that's how I see things. And it's, so we're all on the same earth, but that ascension into 4D, it's your mind, soul, body connection, the Trinity. That's what it is. It's not another galaxy or another place. No, it's 3D is just those more egoic, and whereas 4D is people who, I feel like it's, and let me know what you think. It's people who can take pain and suffering the same way they take pleasure and happiness.
Yep. And be able to weave it. So like an alchemist changes an object, changes an energy, be able to take that energy and see the lessons in it and then morph it into a higher vibration. And then forgive and have compassion.
Oh, so important. And be
like
grateful.
huge. And a lot of people think of compassion in the sense of there is a selflessness about it, but a lot of people think about, okay, well, how do I embody this? I'm not Mother Teresa, I'm not Gandhi. You're not supposed to be, because that's not your contract. You're not supposed to be. That's their contract, and they contracted, and that's why they're ascended masters. They contracted to be that. Every single one of us have the capacity to embody that in our realm, in our sphere.
And don't you feel, and this is where I feel, for so long, I didn't know where I belonged and who I was. Now I have the confidence to say that I'm a spiritualist. And when I say spiritualist, I just want to clarify, I mean that I use my sixth sense. That's all that I mean, right? Like now I have the confidence, but a lot of the spiritualists that I met in, like before, in the past, like before we even met, they were all like love and light all the time. And it doesn't work that way. And I'm like, no, if I want to get fucking pissed off, I'm going to get pissed off. If I want to swear, I'm going to swear. I mean, you live all these emotions. And I think there's like this heavy baggage that spiritualists that do actually use their sixth sense, they feel like they always have to be happy. I've had friends say to me, why are you acting like that? I thought you were a spiritualist. I can still have emotions and do like, and I don't even know. I just did a vlog on this too. And it's just such a huge, I think, misconception of we're not human anymore. We're very human.
But that's why we're in this realm. That's why we're in the 3D to experience it, to have the physical experience. And then those of us that are star seeds or cosmic seeds, we were tasked with something bigger. And also we signed up to experience this. We signed up to help humanity and help ourselves, because as light beings, we signed up to experience the density And so, and in experiencing the density, we're able to take the light vibration which we came from and the more dense reality and be able to amalgamate them. And in doing so, we're able to actually show humanity that you can be both. Remember, we have free will choice. That is the greatest gift outside of life itself, that the universe, the creator, source, however that looks for people, God, whatever, the goddess, however it looks for you, that's your choice. That's, and stay with it. It's life is the greatest gift first and foremost. And following that is free will choice and the law of free will. And it's a universal law. Even our guides, even the angels, archangels, divine beings, dragon protectors, all of these different high vibrating light beings, even federations of light, you know, council of light, the nine, all of them, they still abide by the law of free will. And that's the beauty of it, because with free will choice, we are able to make addendums to our contracts. Once we conclude the contracts, we don't need to carry them into the next existence. We don't need to carry them to the next lifetime. Learn from it, extrapolate the lessons, and then evolve and then move on to the next vibration. That's the whole point of us experiencing the third dimension. That's the whole point of us experiencing 3D and going within. Like B said, you know, the ego versus, you know, the light, the spirit. Spirit is ancient. The vessel is young. And even though spirit is ancient, spirit still will allow you, because of free will, to make decisions. And its job, you as a spiritual being and your higher self and your spirit guides are there to guide you. And they signed on before you were even incepted as a soul. So, and I joke, B and I joke, and, you know, sometimes I say, like, I joke with my guys, I'm like, really? Y'all want me to do that? Yeah. And I have other healers like, oh my God, you talk to your guys like that? I was like, of course I do. I'm like, I have the greatest respect for them, but I'll say to my guys, I was like, for real, don't y'all act brand new. Y'all knew this shit before I did. So, yeah. But it's with love and light, and it's with high regards, high respect. And the reality is they do. They know this, they know us better than we know us. Yeah. And that's why they're there to guide us. So let's bring this this way back to your session, that whole experience. So how do I know which codes to use? Well, there are always two people, two beings, two entities that are there, my spirit guides and your spirit guides. Yeah. And I always ask permission from both. And for your highest good. Yeah. And it's so they will show me, right? Yeah. So they're the ones that show me which codes that your higher self, which codes that you can handle in that moment, in that session for your journey.
So the codes, I just want to get personal here for a second. So the codes that you installed in me, because they had such a, like, fuck man, the energy, I couldn't, I could handle it, obviously, because you said the right thing you did was to go in the car. And because my intuition, and I do not live, I follow every gut feeling. I follow every intuition, to the point where yesterday I was at the liquor store, I bought sambuca, messed myself up. I'm hungover. It was my intuition that told me to do it. Oh. But anyways, like, I do, honestly, I just, what feels good. And I think that's what intuition is. Intuition is, do what feels good. So I bought the frickin' sambuca. Do I take shots? No. Did I do it yesterday? Yeah. And I feel
and then guess what? In that moment, you were supposed to have that experience.
Exactly. So, and I think, like, this is a funny example, but I live life every day knowing, like, oh, okay, put more salt in my food. Oh, okay. I listen to intuition. So even though I was doing that, so the vibration of the codes you installed still, like, just took me to another place. So is that how codes are measured, you think?
Well, because the codes are activated into your blueprint now. So all those codes exist. They're from Archangel Raphael. They already exist. He gifted that to to us, to humanity. And then with disclaimers that you don't activate too many of those codes at once, because the body, the self will go through what's called a healing crisis, a spiritual healing crisis. In that, just like as a holistic practitioner, when somebody's taking, like we have them, when I put a patient on like herbal remedies or homeopathic remedies, it's less is more. And so, because you don't want to send the body into a healing crisis. Healing crises are not a bad thing. It's just that the body now is detoxing faster, a lot faster, and it can be too much, too quickly and too soon for that person, that vessel at that point. The same thing applies to spiritual stuff. So in most sessions, I will only use maximum 2 codes. On you, we used 4.
Right.
And that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
And I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't guided to, and if you couldn't handle it. And even though you could handle it, it's still a lot of energy. It's still a lot of stuff we're opening up and activating. So you were still feeling the effects of the code of opening that matrix. And basically think of it as like we just ripped into a bag of chips and it all popped out. Wow. So energetically, we ripped into that because you already had it. It was like, not to use a food or pantry analysis, that bag of chips was already in your pantry. You just hadn't gone into it.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. You already had it
with
you. So what we did was we went in and we opened it up.
So when you go in and open it up, you're basically going, so our 7 chakras, are you using the 7 chakras or?
So in your case, I use more than the 7 chakras. Okay. Typically I call them the causal 40s. The average person that's not awakened are like 40 points on the spiritual level. Your points was like 80. So it's next level. And I can quantify that on my device. Like I can measure it, but I don't really need a device to do it. I do it just for people to see the values. So for you, it was beyond your 7 chakras. It was your earth star, the 7 chakras, so right up to the soul star, right up to the 12th chakra.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So hence why you felt such a big impact, such a big energy. And that's why I use the sound bowls first, because I open those channels first. And then remember, I go into your feet meridians.
Yeah, I remember
every meridian, every organ, every center you can access through the feet. Yeah. So that's why we got to send more love to our feet. It's the movement. It's what propels us forward or what holds us back. The feet humanity, people, you need to love your feet more. You need to cherish them, because without that, the movement doesn't exist.
And that we were just talking about yesterday. I was telling you, I was like, so I put we did, Angela and I did a ritual, which you can get. So this now is a separate ritual. So you get on Angela's table, you open yourself up, and then so that's what I did. And I'm just telling you my experience. But then afterwards, when the Kundalini energy started, I started talking to Angela more like, dude, what is going on? And you helped me through it, right? And that's what I love about your package, because that's what you're doing now. You don't only get on that table, but you literally get these reports of like, this is what happened. And it's detailed. My sister-in-law is really good. She sent me the report that you sent. Yeah, I've been sending everybody that I know to you, because I just see, I'm like, but it's people who are awake that I've been sent. Did you notice that? It's more.
And they'll come. Those people will come. If they're not as awake or at that vibration, they won't come. And that's okay. And I've accepted that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't want to work on that kind of stuff, because you take the energy, you cleanse yourself and clear yourself, but it probably affects you too.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
It's a big energy. Every session that I facilitate on somebody, it's also a healing and clearing for me as well. Mm-hmm. And my guides have showed me that I need to allow the wisdom of that so that I can experience it as well. Yeah, I'm holding space and facilitating, but I'm being taught, because but negates, and I'm also being taught something else. Every single session with everybody that has walked through my door, And I'm like, and B, I'm talking about since your session.
Oh.
After your session, there was something else that activated. It wasn't just activating you.
Yeah.
They activated something in me as well. And that I haven't been the same since either.
Right.
And so it's being open. It's being open to the vastness of potentiality, the vastness of possibility. And because we can't even begin to fathom yet conceptualize how vast the universe is.
No.
And the energies, and nor can we begin to understand in our conceptual mind the amount of beings and light beings in the universe that are also here to help us.
Oh,
We can't begin to even like know that. And it's also about having faith and trusting, and that each evolution, we're supposed to evolve, we're supposed to grow, and growth is not supposed to be easy.
yeah.
Like, then it wouldn't be called growth. Okay. Yeah. Right. And as saying that, and one of my guides is just, she's standing there nodding, I just got this goosebumps down my side.
I love that you're saying that, because the guides, like for me as well. Okay, so I just want to clarify, when you say there's so many light beings that are here to help us, everybody is going to, I want to take this like, it's a misconception that people think that we all have to see, for example, let's say JC, let's talk about Jesus Christ, right? Yeah. Like everybody thinks that they have to see Jesus the same way, otherwise it's not Jesus. That's not true. That's not true. And you tell me what you think, because I'm not sure we've talked about this before, but how I see JC in my mind's eye, and I see him every day. He lives here. Like, I've asked my Ascension team to hang with me for the rest of my life. Like, they're here. So I talk to JC on a regular basis. And sometimes in my mind's eye, I feel him as energy, but my mind needs to connect the energy to my body so that my mind sees him as this guy here. I'll show you. Let me know if you see it. There. Yeah. So to me, when he comes to, but that picture is literally just somebody's, a little girl, I think, painted that. And that's just the one I resonate with. So,
and that's what she saw. That's how she saw it. And so painted it. And for you, that resonance connected with how you see it.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you see JC a different way and you connect like with a different picture on Google Images, totally fine. Like that is not a problem. This is your journey. And I just want to kind of make that clear. Archangel Michael does not look the same to Angela as Archangel Michael looks to me. Yeah. And also the other thing I want to just say,
Archangel Michael is hot. I got a crush on Archangel Michael. Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a hottie. Why are all the angels like super hot? I'm just looking.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are. But I think that's also because they say the angels are hot, but the devils are super hot too, because angels are love and light though. And they're just drawn there. Because when we're in the state of high vibration and love, we see them with love. So we see them in our own way. Whereas the devil has to look hot. It's like a person who admires herself because of her physical beauty, but then as she ages, she starts hating herself. Where these devils in pictures have wings too, but the devils are super hot, but they're doing it for the purpose of beauty. Beauty is important. Mother Nature is beauty, but I'm using it in a negative connotation kind of thing. So anyways, that's just whatever. That's just my thought.
We digress and then we'll bring it back. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing, just going back to beings, is would you consider star galaxies like as beings too? And I ask that because I have been bathing in and meditating in the Milky Way. I've been doing this for 2 years, and just I don't know, a few months ago, I'm bad with time, could have been like the beginning of the year, I don't know, but I literally started feeling like a star. Like I felt like the energy, I'm like, I'm gold. I'm like vibrating gold energy. I would walk around feeling like I am full of stardust. I'm full of star energy.
Yeah.
And I literally feel like a star. Now, is that also kind of the description as a being, like you said, or is that something else?
So, okay, so there's two parts to your question. So when we look at, so let's address the Milky Way from that perspective of as being. So Milky Way is one of infinite galaxies.
Yeah.
And galaxies house planets and beings. They themselves are sentient, they're alive.
Right.
So connecting with the Milky Way, connecting and feeling that stardust, and you're like, I am star. I'm like, yes, because you have now accepted and tapped into the galaxy in which you are in. And that's the Milky Way. You just like we accept Gaia as our mother, like Mother Earth that's housing us. Well, who do you think is housing Gaia? Right. Milky Way.
Right. Right. Okay.
So think of the Milky Way as that old wise grandmother.
Yeah.
That is ancient and infinite.
Right.
And then there's beings. So the second part of your question about beings, light beings, high vibrational beings exist in all times, all frequencies, all dimensions, all galaxies, all universes. Oh, okay. People think of there's only one universe. No, there's multiverse. Oh, we are in one universe right now.
Yeah.
But our fractals are in other multiverse.
Yeah.
So, and that's a lot for people to wrap their mind about, because at this point, people might think, okay, these bitches are nuts. Like, what are they drinking? But that's cool. That's fine. If it doesn't resonate with you, then it doesn't. Yeah. And that all that means is that you're not at that frequency for it to resonate with you, and that's okay too. And if those that are on that frequency for it to resonate don't understand, and if they don't understand, they'll seek more to get more of the answer, and that's okay, because guess what? We're all at different points and junction in our journeys and in our awakening and our growth. Yeah. And one of this lifetime that we are in this time is to grow, is to awaken. Yeah. And is to tap into the divine, the cosmic universe. And so, yes, people may think, okay, these broads are smoking some shit. That's okay. But, and other people are like, I want what they're smoking. Okay. Yeah. It's pretty sweet, y'all. And it's, you want to smoke what we smoking? You're never going to be the same, but that's okay, because you can come into our sisterhood. We're all for it. So light beings, when we think about, okay, so for example, when you think of, like, when I set up a circle, when I'm getting ready for either healing or an actual like circle, like activation, or I call in all these different beings. Yeah.
You mean like the circle that you did at my place?
Yeah. So that ritual. So when I'm doing a ritual versus a healing, they're two different things, but then they're not so different. When I'm doing a healing, you're on the table, I still set up a circle. I call it the 4 pillars of light. Yeah. I call in all the archangels. So like I'll call in the pillars of light from the north, from the south, from the east, from the west. And then I call in the associating archangels. So from the north is Archangel Uriel. From the south is Archangel Michael. From the east is Archangel Raphael. And from the west is Archangel Gabriel. So I call them in. Okay. And they are infinite. They transcend. Multiple, every single soul on this planet can call in Archangel Michael, and he will be there for every single soul, because he's infinite. Yeah. And so that's the universe is infinite. So that therefore, when we think about what we want to create, when we think about co-creating, that's why they say, you read all these different healers or motivational speakers, so they talk about your potential, what you want to create is infinite. It's expansive. That's because the universe is infinite and expansive. There is no bounds to it. The only bounds and limit you put is yourself. And that's a very third dimensional framework. And that's okay, because that's where we're in right now. But one of the lessons is for us to break out of that bracketed morality, that bracketed compass of just 3D. Right. And the expansion of what's more. So when we think about, so your two questions about the universe as a being, yes, in an essence, yes, vibration, it's a being, it's transcendence, it's infinite. So the Milky Way is a sentient being, and not just a single sentient being, it's a sentient vibration. So yeah.
So is that why, like, when I'm up in the Milky Way, like, I've literally seen my ancestors there?
Absolutely.
Oh, like I've
Your
seen.
entire lineage from the inception of your soul all exists there. Woo, and I'm just getting full body goosebumps. Thank you. They're confirming. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Oh,
Every line, genetic lineage, soul lineage that you come from your inception as a soul, exist in the universe. So when you actually plug in to the Milky Way,
yeah.
of course you sense them because they're there. You are there. You're part of them. You're part of it.
Yeah, and it feels, and it's like the outline of them, but I know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
But it's the outlines in like gold stardust, like
Yeah.
it's part of the Milky Way.
Yeah, because they're part of that consciousness. Yeah, there may not be a physical body for them anyway, but their consciousness exists.
Even people here, with
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
body, I've seen them up there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then now when we talk about divine beings, light beings, and one of the things that, like, before I get into a healing, I always say a prayer that I set my intention to only connect from light beings, God's light, and of 9-dimensional vibration and above.
Wow. Oh.
And so those, because there's beings in each dimension vibration, and the higher the vibration, the more light they are. And so, and to connect with beings in 9D, 9 dimension and above, it's the archangels, it's the seraphims, it's the dragonborns, it's the ascended masters. It's so much. And not even, some ascended masters aren't even in 9 dimension. Some ascended masters are in 6 dimension. Like, so connecting from 9D and above, that means I'm going to connect with light beings in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and above. So in that, the highest ones that I want permission to be able to connect with. If I'm able to in that frequency, and my higher self will know, and my guides, then I'm able to connect with them and be open to the message that they want to share and the healing that they want to bring through. So that's why every session is an activation for me as well, because each time I facilitate a session on somebody, my vibration gets higher. I can hold more energy. I can hold more space. So then that taps me into higher and higher.
It does.
And so that's why it's important to cleanse, not just to cleanse the debris and attachments and cords that, I'm removing off of somebody. And I'm not the one removing, I'm facilitating. Archangel Michael is doing that. Yeah. And I'm there. So, but entities and attachment, when they're removed, can jump onto you as the facilitator if you're not, one, protected, guarded, and then you don't do. So I always do a spiritual cleansing after every session.
Yeah.
Every single session. Even if I have 3 sessions back to back, I will be 2, 3, 5 minutes late. And that's not a disrespect or not a devaluing of the client and the patient's time. Yeah. It's because I need to be clear so that I can hold space for them. Yeah. And so light beings, divine beings there's something else. They are like us, but lighter and more love and more compassion and more evolved. Yeah. And so they exist in the being of the galaxies and of the universes. Does that explain? Does that answer your question?
For sure. It actually it validates it, because I was listening to some of Sadhguru's stuff this morning. I just absolutely, it's funny. I never liked him before. Because I resonate. So I didn't like his jokes. I didn't like hearing. And this is like maybe 8 or 9 years ago. But now in the last, I have this utmost respect where I actually connect with his energy, even just feel him. I feel his energy, right? So I was listening to him this morning and he said something really interesting. He was talking about Alexander the Great, the idiot. That's what he called him. Cause Alexander the Great was a complete moron, and he went around and he just killed people. That's what he did. Like that, he was a savage and he was a killer. And then Alexander the Great wanted to be immortal. And what Sadhguru said was that that's how he trekked onto India. And there was this yogi sitting under a tree, and he's on a horse, right? And he demands the yogi, tell me how to be immortal. And he's like, well, the first thing you can do, moron, is get off a horse that's dumber than you. You're riding something that is stupider than you. That firstly just tells you who I'm looking at you with no respect. And you know, I was like, wow, yeah, and I started thinking how, because then Sadhguru goes, if you can ride an animal that is smarter than you, you'll have my respect. But if you're like riding horses, whatever, you know, and he just, not that they're domesticated now, so he was being careful with his language, but I was just like, I think Sadhguru would like me because I ride fucking dragons.
And to remember, so just to like note on what B just said about riding dragons, they're not pets, they're beings. They're sacred beings, and they're guardians. They choose you.
Yes.
You don't choose them. They choose to reveal themselves to you. And for them to let you ride them is, one, freaking unheard of, very rare. And when they do, when you get on their back and their wings are spread, they put a protective bubble around you. So, and for them to even choose you as a being, that's massive. So just so people know, so I've been fantasized and glorified, oh, my pet dragon. No, that's not how it works.
No.
My dragon, like the dragon race, the dragonborns there are, if you know anything about the choirs of angel, the hierarchy, so the seraphims are the highest. They are the one that guard the throne of God. They are so light that us human and lower beings cannot set eyes on them, because we would just go up in flames, because the lightness of them, the vibration and the energy that comes off of them, we can't take it. So dragonborns are almost at that same level. So when dragonborns choose you as a being, they actually cloak their energies more so that they can show themselves to you.
That's crazy. And it was a dragon that first took me years ago. And I didn't know what was happening, but it was a dragon that came to me, and it took days, like, for me to I trusted the dragon because it was very sweet and loving and kind, but it took me days to kind of get on. And then once I was on, it was the first being that took me to the Akashic Records.
Yeah.
Right to the Akashic Records. Okay, so now let's talk about, so on the table, you do some amazing personal work, and I'm talking from experience, literally, like, thank you because once you activated what you activated, I'm just going to tell you that since then, my life has changed so much. And in a way where I was able to handle it. Like my son, I'm a widow, so he's been with me since he was 3. It's just been him and I. He's now 16. He's leaving. He's gonna go away for like school, just accepting that. And then selling my home and not resisting it. And really realizing, like, after you did the work that you did on me, I make my decisions with vigor. Like, I know that my home is supposed to sell. I'm in alignment. I'm on the right path for the highest good, easiest road, is because What happened was 2 years ago, the universe started lining up the right people to sell my house. I met my realtor, like, and really it was just this summer where she started working out with me. We started training. That's how I met her. And now, and this is what happens when you open up chakras and you connect with the universe. What happens is you take nothing for granted and you're able to look back. And this is what you did for me. I've been able to make these hard decisions because I'm all alone. But this time around, the decisions make sense. I'm not doing them out of fear. I'm doing them because it's the right way, highest good, easiest path. That's what I always say to God. And I know that I'm supposed to, I know that this is what's ordained, because I'm looking back, I was like, that's why you sent me Sharon, my realtor. Oh, okay. That's why I started decluttering the house 2 years ago when you put that on my head. Because I didn't want to get rid of shit. And this thought was just like, no, but you need to get rid of stuff. Like, you don't need stuff. And I actually even did a video. Like, if you come to my house, I literally in my cupboards have 6 plates, 6 cups. Like, that's how much I decluttered. I have just 1 set of pots. I used to have 5. Why? I don't know. But
you feeding an army?
Yeah, like why? I didn't even use some of them. They were in boxes still. So 2 years ago, because I followed my intuition, I started getting rid of stuff. And now it took 2 years, but it makes sense. If my whole house sold and they're like, get out of here in 2 weeks, no problem. I'm such a minimalist now. I don't have a lot of stuff. So this is what you did to me. I feel as though if I didn't come to you and you didn't open up those channels, I'm not sure that I would have been able to look back and be like, okay, I am on the right path. This timeline is supposed to go this way. It's the highest good, easiest path.
So here's an insight for you. Because you were ready. That's why the timeline is unfolding.
Okay.
And also remember, if with your permission, can I share one of the codes that was used on you? Sure. So one of the codes that I used on you was to heal timelines with divine assistance.
Wow.
So, and you were ready.
Yeah.
You were ready for it. So that's why you've been ready. You've been gearing up 2 years prior. So you charted this meeting, us, connecting. We're soul sisters. We've known each other in many lifetimes. And certainly as star seeds, cosmic seed sisters, we've known each other in galaxies and dimensions. And so for that code to open up as much as it did. And the beautiful thing about the quantum codes and people have to understand is that, yes, when the codes get activated in you, the amount and the degree in which the code activates and opens is your frequency. So if your frequency is more open, then it's going to open even more. If your frequency is more closed, then it'll open a little bit, but it's still going to be a big movement for you. So your timeline, you were ready for it. So then that's why you were able to move through what you're moving through, because you already charted it and you were ready for it. And here's the beautiful thing about this is that session, that healing, that activation, you charted it as well. You charted it. You didn't know how it was going to look, but you're like, okay, when it comes, I will be ready for it.
Yeah.
And so you were.
Yeah, this is so beautiful. Like I always say, I'm so blessed to have met you. Like you were my next. I've done all this work on my own, and I don't know how we never talked about that, but that's going to be a different video.
Otherwise we'll be here for like 4 hours.
4 hours. Yeah. How long has it been? Oh shoot. I didn't even start. I don't even know when we started. I should have looked at the time, but anyways, it doesn't matter. We'll go on for another 10 minutes or so. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah. And then we can wrap it up.
So it's 45 now. We'll finish before 2. So yeah. And I just feel like with you've introduced me. The next thing that we'll talk about really quick, but then I think on the next vlog, we'll talk about circles more, because 10 minutes is not enough.
Thanks for that.
Right? It's just not. It was so then Angela introduced me to circles. We did a sister circle?
Ritual circles.
Ritual circle. And
Yes.
it was after that, like that
You thought
even
your session was powerful? Our circle was next level.
next level, next level.
And then we activated 4 quantum codes in that one, and 4 for the bigness. But then we had 8 rooms. And so, like B said, we're going to do a whole segment just on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to say, just to let you know, like if you're ready for the energy, you're going to resonate with Angela. You're going to just know you're going to pick up that freaking phone and you're just going to be like, how do I contact her? I know that's how I was feeling. Like there was this inside of me that I want to get on that table, you know? And then afterwards, how long ago was that? When did
Oh, geez. It's been a couple months at least.
At
3
least.
3 months, I think.
I think so. I think at least 3 months it's been.
Because it was just, you came in right after, like, we were able to open with COVID.
Yes.
Literally, you came in that, like, we opened that week, and that following, like, Monday or Tuesday, you came in.
Yeah.
You were actually one of the first people to get on my table after COVID.
Wow. Yeah. And it's taken me like 3 months, but I'm an avid meditator. I'm an avid, like, this is my life. I use yoga and meditate and connect to the divine. I think about spirituality all the time. So this is truly, truly who I am. And I feel like I finally connected with somebody like-minded. So then what happened, it took me 3 months off the table to get comfortable with this energy, with this vibration that is held now. And I'm not gonna lie, like, once you get comfortable with it, and I don't know if this is how Kundalini worked. I didn't even know it was Kundalini. So you tell me.
Well, girl, it was Kundalini and then something else.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't just Kundalini. Your
Oh,
Kundalini was already rising. The snake energy of the Kundalini was already up high on your back, on your spine. It already went through your chakras. It was sitting like right by your shoulder.
by the plat. That's
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So your Kundalini was already rising. So what our session did was just opened it, and it shot straight out your crown,
yeah.
right into your soul star. And then all the other stuff came through. So it wasn't even that I activated your Kundalini. You've already activated your Kundalini with the work you were doing. What the session and the codes and everything did was expedite your Kundalini.
Okay.
So, and not only did it expedite your Kundalini, it actually expanded it. So that sense of, okay, you're part of the Milky Way, you're the stars and stuff. Just Kundalini alone doesn't do that.
Oh.
And even people who experience Kundalini, some experience Kundalini in more of an ecstasy kind of way, or just a burning. For you, it was all of that and then more. And then for you, it was like the particles within you were exploding. And they were, because they were exploding into the galaxy and the stars that it is, and that you are part of. So it's more than Kundalini. Kundalini was one aspect of it, because that was already high. That was ready. You'd already awakened that, but we just sped it up. And it, for you, it needed to be sped up, because what the next level that you needed to get to, you needed to go through the Kundalini already to be able to get onto that platform.
Oh, okay. That's crazy, because what's happened now, because I embraced it and just like, okay, let's go through this, man. If we're going to do this, let's do it. Let's do it. Now it's like, I wake up, the amount of peace that I've felt at the age of 43, like I feel so much peace, and not only like within me, but also my child is more peaceful. Like things are coming to him.
And now that is a Saintian. Your child is a light being, next level.
Oh.
He's a different level of cosmic seed.
It's just crazy, man. And this is why I truly, and I'm not going to stop saying this, like, if you're ready and I think we all need a little bit of help. Like all these it's not just one archangel, there's archangels, because
Girl, there's tons of them. And I call in a few of them, not just one.
And
in your session, I think I had called in, okay, so the 4 main ones that most people know, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel. Most people know 3, Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. I called in Uriel for you. Also call in Ariel, like the Little Mermaid, but no.
yeah.
So Ariel is pink rays and love and fear. She clears that. She helps you, and she helps you clear fear and face fear that is her habitual fear in past life and fear since childhood, and even fear that you don't understand where it's coming from. So I call her in, and her pink rays just, the way it's, you know how one of my clients described it, when she's like, when she comes in, I feel like I'm on like a pink cloud of cotton candy. She just embraced me. She's sweet and she's soft. And I was like, don't get it twisted. She's a bad bitch, okay?
Yeah.
Ariel, I mean that in the greatest respect. And then for you, Metatron came in too because of his grid. You've been working with Metatron's grid for a long time. So he is always around you. So it made sense that he was going to be called in. And it wasn't even that I have to call him in. He was already there, like looking at me. I was like, oh, so you about to be in the circle? Okay, cool. All right. Well, she wants you to, so come on in. So, and he just kind of stoic and like, I was like, oh shoot. So, and you glowing with all these symbols and grids around you. All right, come on in. So you guys, I'm not your typical healer. I'm not your wear the tie dyes and stuff. And hey, I have Angela, the science, the doctor, da-da-da. And then Shaniqua is the alter ego. And she's the bitch that's going to be in that healing, which should be like, yo, we about to do this.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to holding space, Angela comes through. She holds space. And yes, I know I'm talking about myself in the third person. You're like, okay, this bitch is nuts. But I'm like, I'll wear the stones. I'll wear the bracelets. I wear the evil eye. I don't go anywhere without this.
Yeah.
And I
So
wear some skinny jeans, do my hair, get my makeup done, and still slay some healing. Okay.
I know. Also, what do you have in your bra today? She's got like stones in there sometimes, man.
I'm wearing 4 today. Hold up, y'all. I'm all up in my boobs, okay? See, that's Shaniqua talking to y'all. Hold up. Okay.
Oh my God, you guys have to watch this. This is awesome.
Okay. All right. So today, the 4 that made it into the bra today.
Let's see.
That's all on you, okay? And let me fix my hair, y'all. Hold up. Okay. All right. So today we have malachite. Malachite, and guess what? This is my pyramid malachite, y'all.
Oh yeah, I love
all about abundance and the heart chakra. Right. And you know what, B? This malachite came in after you and I did our circle.
No way.
The ritual, the abundance ritual, malachite came through, and then another healer friend that I do rituals with too, she confirmed. She's like, yeah, you need to start wearing malachite.
Wow.
And then I have don't go anywhere without this. Then I have my green aventurine.
Yeah, I knew what that
heart
was.
Chakra. So I'm opening the heart a lot lately, just a lot, clearing and then tapping into abundance, tapping into wealth. And it's monetary, financial wealth, is spiritual wealth, it's emotional wealth, it's mental wealth, it's all of that. And check these. Okay, you guys, I love this stone and it's like lighting up. Check out this lapis lazuli.
Oh, I love lapis.
Do you see all the gold in there?
That's pretty.
Oh yeah, I like this. Yeah. So this stone will activate throat chakra as well as third eye. Yeah. So, and here's an interesting thing is I wear the aventurine and the malachite. I wear that one on my left side because left is your past energy. And so in past lives, and even in this life recently, I've had a blockage. I know you guys, I'm a healer, like what the F. I've had a blockage with abundance and even with worth, even though I do this stuff. And you know what? B was one of my catalysts in that shift too. So, and then because it was a past energy, I had to clear that past energy. So that's why these two sit on the left side. Oh. And then get this, this one is a new addition to the bra group. Normally I don't put this one in the bra. This one I use in grids and when I'm doing like in invocations and stuff. So this one is a green kyanite.
Oh God.
Kyanite is all about your spiritual energy. Yeah. It's waking up your intuition. It's receiving messages, being open to it, and it's just centering your upper chakras and really connecting you to your soul purpose. And kyanite is a powerful crystal. I don't play with that. If you're not ready to awaken, don't play with kyanite. But if you're ready to, you're ready to like tap into that and tap into your spirit guides and your intuition, get you kyanite, blue or green. And if you're really ready to anchor it, get a black kyanite. So I'm gonna disclaimer you, black kyanite, don't fuck with that shit. If you're not ready, don't play, because it's gonna take you on a ride. So black kyanite, I will wear black kyanite on me if I'm doing a big ritual.
Okay.
And a big ritual with somebody who also has a high vibration. And this is not a slide, this is not ego. It's just they need to be able to hold that energy as well.
Right. Yeah.
So y'all, those are the 4 stones that are and okay, hold up. This one is not in my boobs, but this one is in my pocket.
Okay.
Always. And then this one is a selenite.
Selenite, yeah.
Girl, I don't go anywhere without selenite, because selenite clears energy, clears other crystals, and and it's an angelic stone. So it's always connecting you to the angelic realm. And selenite clears your aura.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Selenite clears your aura. So get a piece of selenite and wear it on you somewhere. So for me, I always wear selenite in my pocket, because your belly button below, right up to the tip of your root in your pelvic, like the pelvic bone right at the top there, that zone is called your yin zone. So it's your uptake zone. It's your balance zone as well. So it's also your intuition center. I wear selenite there because my intuition has never steered me wrong. So selenite always sits in my pocket, either in my back pocket or front pocket, depending on what I'm wearing. And it's there because it always keeps that center clear. And then from that anchor point, it's this dome that is created around me. So selenite, if you forget to wear any stone, don't forget selenite.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
So,
because that's your master chakra, right?
So yeah, selenite clears everything. And when you come in for a healing, and like you can attest to that, I put selenite on every chakra.
Okay.
I do a crystal gray. So the sacred alignment quantum soul healing that B experienced, it's a fusion of many healing modalities in one and then some. And because I don't know what's going to be coming up, so I'm open to it, but I use sound bowl, I use tuning forks, I use crystal healing, and not just crystals, not just, okay, I put one stone in each chakra. No. I do mini grids on each chakra. And every chakra has a selenite sitting on it. And I have a massive selenite block about this big that is, and there's 2 holes for a candle holding. I always set that in between your calves, because every energy that's released down, selenite pulls that, and I always light those, because the energy, the flame will always burn it away. And then there's always 2 selenite rods that I use that I put right at your yin zone, right by the waist there. One point is pointing up to send the energy up. One point is pointing down to send the energy down. And the one that's pointing up is always on your right side, your future movement, you're moving up. And the one that's pointing down is on your left side to get rid of and clear what's done.
Oh.
So they're specific in the directions that they're pointed. People, and I'm sharing secrets with you, but that's fine. It's there. And it's crazy. I'm telling you, my whole face is like tingling on my left side. And then on your lap, so your quadricep. So like I have a master's in biomechanics, so the human body was my jam. Spirit's like, okay, that's great, but now we want you to do this stuff. Yeah. So I still bring that in. So your quadricep being one of the biggest muscle in your body, and in the femoral arteries right there, I have 2 really long selenite rods that I place right on the quads as well, on both. So it's also clearing the energy in the femoral artery there, because that's going right to your heart as well. And in every chakra has a selenite there on it within the grid. And then I place 2 on your shoulder. The reason that I placed 2 other rods on your shoulder is because it allows you to remove and lift the burden of the weight of the world that you have carrying on your shoulder.
Wow.
So there's always 2 selenite rods there as well. And then there's a selenite rod that's at your crown too. So there's a reason why I use what I use. So that is something that I will use, and each time it morphs. And then so B, your next session, I'm sorry, I'm going to share, and she's okay with it.
Yeah.
So your next session, okay, they want me to take you into not just a past life, but another dimension. And how we're going to do that, one of the things that they've showed me that I needed to put on your points, for those of you who know crystals, you know that clear quartz is a amplifier, right? So they want me to put a clear quartz point on every chakra.
Whoa.
So girl, that's why that day didn't work out.
Yeah.
Because you got to be grounded more for that one.
Yeah. Did you notice we're both wearing red?
I know. I noticed that earlier.
I know. Because I was like, okay, because after I talked to you and you kind of were like, okay, here's a grounding code, use this quantum code. Yeah. I did it 3 times like you told me again this morning. And I just was like, my intuition was just like, wear red. So I did. And I think that's what's been happening is I just need to be more grounded.
Yeah. Because you girl, you go somewhere. You astral travel. You go to other dimensions and stuff. Spirit wants you to anchor a little bit more here, just because there's some stuff that they want anchored so that you're able to connect both the other realm and this realm together. Because where you're going in your next journey is literally other realm. Your next venture, business and otherwise, is
Yeah, I can feel that. Awesome. Well, should we
we need to wrap this up.
I know.
Thank you guys for tuning in. And I know we touch on a whole bunch of stuff. B session, a little bit about the circle that we do, a little bit about what I do, and we hope to continue this conversation with you guys and just give you more insight and even tools and things on and guidance on how to approach your spirituality and how to awaken to it and how to surrender to it. And when we say surrender, we're not talking about, okay, just don't do anything. We mean surrender, accept it, let it be, and then move. Remember, when you move, it's the movement that where the growth happens. You take a step towards the universe, because when you surrender, you have now cued and let the universe know that, okay, you're ready to let go of it and you're ready to be okay with it. So what's next? So then you make that step, that movement, the universe will take that 1,000 step towards you each time, each step, and then be open to something different. Be open to something more. That's what we're here for. We're here to do more. I know different healers and different spiritual people might have a different perspective, but what I know for me, to be true for me, to be true for this journey that I'm on and those that are on the journey with me, is that we are here to change humanity. And if that means you change one soul, then you have accomplished one of your contracts. So, and don't think of your purpose. Don't think of yourself as being small in the mosaic, in the puzzle that is the world, that is the universe. Yes, you're but one facet of it, but you as that facet has an entire universe within you. So if you change one person, you've just changed a universe. And then if you add yourself to that equation, you've changed 2 universes. There's always the ripple effect. So don't ever discount what you're here to do. Don't ever discount kindness. Don't ever discount compassion. And you need to start with you, the kindness and compassion to yourself.
Oh, that's so
with
nice.
That, and I'm going to pass it over to my host here.
Oh, that was gorgeous. That was beautiful. All I want to know is, I need hungover food. I hope the restaurant that you picked that we're going to is going to be greasy.
Yes, let's do it.
And I'm having a beer, just so you know. I don't even care that it's 2:00. Doesn't matter. I'm so ready. So I'm going to stop the recording and then let's chat about where we're meeting for lunch.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
I have to end the meeting. Is that okay? And then
Yeah.